And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to Superherocuts podcast where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by Comic Cuts. How are you doing today, bro?
I am good, bro. I finally have someone that is not in my life anymore, thank God. And yeah, he just fucking sucks. But anyway, we have some great stuff to talk about today. And if you can't tell, behind us is the fucking GOAT.
Yeah, we are going to start this episode off talking a lot of X-Men 97 because this show is cooking, and we have a
Yeah.
lot of. And you and I obviously talked about it Saturday. Just to let you guys know, we have a lot of. I think we have two videos going out. I think Thursday and Friday on fantasy, and we have one video going on Friday on the action cuts. So be sure to tune in. Jerry goes mad deep on John Wick on action cuts. So if you're into that, check it out. And then we talked
Hell
about
yeah.
the Last Ronin, and Jerry dug deep on GI Joe and the Transformers collab. So check. So be on the lookout for that coming later this week. But let's get right into it, bro. So far, I think we're at the halfway mark. I think this is 10 episodes or 12 episodes. How do you feel about X-Men 97 so far?
Man, this show is so good. And, Disney Plus needed a banger like this because, this show, like the storylines and the character development and the characters, it's so intricate that, I know you said to me that, this is like Endgame level quality. And that's a big statement, but it's definitely like top Marvel video entertainment quality. You're muted.
So Comics explained. He said that. He said this is better than Endgame. I don't agree with that because Endgame's like one of my favorite films of all time. But if we're talking about quality and story, then it is up there with like some of the greatest stories that we've seen in Marvel animation or live action. This show was literally amazing. Even the filler episode with what's her name? I mean, I wasn't even mad at that. Like
that was a video game one, right?
Yeah. I wasn't even mad at the episode. I thought it was cool because she was fighting the video game version of Magneto in the original costume. I thought that was cool. So, I mean, every single episode means something. But let's talk about episode 5 because we didn't really get to talk about it. I said you and I talked about it offline. How did you feel about episode 5 with Magneto and Gambit getting killed?
First of all, like since Endgame, I am starting to realize that major character deaths are such a good way to drive an impactful story to resonate with fans. And what's interesting about the big character death is that, it's a big risk. It's a big risk because if it doesn't make sense or if like people don't think the payoff is there, like, and some of you probably already know what I'm about to say is, and I'm a huge Bond fan, but, let's call it what it is. No Time to Die, when they killed off James Bond, it didn't feel like it was cost benefit because, the villain, it wasn't significant. The villain wasn't worthy of being the one who took James Bond off the board. Whereas in, Endgame, it made sense. And, with Iron Man, as much as it sucks, and it's interesting because, the James Bond, they're rebooting. So it's that was easy. But to take Iron Man off the board, or in this case, take Gambit off the board halfway through the series, like now you have one major character less to work with who everyone loved. Like that's a risk. So I think it's interesting. And, it was crazy how, Rogue was kind of going back to, it's deeper than skin, and she wanted to get back with Gambit, and now she doesn't even have the chance to. So that character death is going to have repercussions on the Rogue and Magneto dynamic.
Yeah. How did those deaths make you feel in the moment? Were you shocked that they got killed?
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming.
Did you like Did you like Magneto's death?
No, I'm annoyed that they killed Magneto off because he's my favorite.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead, to be honest. But because like the way that I view deaths is like I have to see you die. Like Gambit's dead.
Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah. Gambit is dead.
Yeah. But Magneto, it's still in question. He might be somewhere. Who knows where he might be? And so now let's talk about the person behind this, because at first I think you and I both were thinking it was Cassandra Nova, because she's the one that led the charge on the genocide in Genosha in the comic books, and she killed like 6 million mutants and all that stuff. But Comics Explained, shout out to Comics Explained, he was on Den of Nerds live stream, and he started talking about a character that I never heard of, and he talked about this character called Bastion. And basically the whole story with Bastion is now Bastion is from the future, and basically he was sending Sentinels back in time to fight the X-Men. And that Bastion being the main bad guy does make sense, because if you think about the Sentinel that the X-Men fought in episode 2, right, versus the Sentinel that they fought in episode 5, this Sentinel was literally OP. Like, this Sentinel was super powerful, and there's no way that someone in their time now created a Sentinel that powerful. So if it is Bastion, I wouldn't be shocked, because and if you don't know Comics Explained, right, X-Men is his jam. Like, that's his favorite franchise. And so if it is Bastion, I think that'll be pretty exciting. And I even talked about it last night on TikTok. And Jerry, you would be proud, bro. People were referencing the exact comic book. So, and we can maybe talk about this after this, man. A lot of people are in tune to the X-Men. Like, I was shocked that somebody commented the exact comic book that Bastion's from. So this just shows that X-Men is really probably the most popular Marvel IP that they have, because I'm telling you, man, people love them, bro. People love them.
Yeah, the Avengers weren't always the most popular one. Like, that was definitely changed, I think, in the 2000s, and then with the MCU. And when I was growing up, it was the X-Men. Like, I grew up in the 90s, so we grew up with the X-Men animated show that we're basically watching right now. And then through the 2000s, we grew up with all the Fox X-Men movies and the Wolverine movies. So, my whole life, X-Men were always front and center. So I could see how a lot of people love the X-Men. I do too. I think these days I'm definitely more an Avengers guy, but I still love the X-Men. I love Cyclops. I love Wolverine. Obviously, Magneto's my favorite. But it's also like so cool because they all have their own powers, and they're like real powers. It's not something that was injected into them. Well, Wolverine's a little different there, but and they have their own world on Earth that's separate from everything, and their lore is so deep and intricate. Even to the extent that a lot of people say that you can't properly understand modern X-Men comics unless you've read the Chris Claremont, OG classic run, which is like so long. There's so much in it. And he actually came to the local comic book shop by me last year on Free Comic Book Day.
Y'all met?
And no, I got there late and I didn't meet him. But what else am I going to say is that, like, the X-Men comics are very intricate. There are so many storylines and so many characters. Like, they're very complicated. And if you've read the Hickman's Avengers run, you would think of it in that way also. But then if you read Hickman's X-Men run, it's like 10 times more complicated. It's crazy. There's just so many of them, and there's always new ones that are coming about. So, but I think the classics are the best, especially when you're talking about Magneto. Like, to me, he's the greatest villain in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, exactly. And what X-Men is doing in this show is they're really selling him as the good guy right now. And I think a lot of fans are, and you said this weeks ago, I think we did like a whole Magneto breakdown, and you were saying how like, remember when you were talking about how like Magneto's that gray? He's like in the gray sometimes, where like there's times where he's clearly evil, but there's also times where he's like, I agree with that decision. And right now, as watchers, he has us in his hands because he really hasn't done anything wild yet, which is shocking, so
but here's the thing.
Yeah,
there's going to be a point in this series where he does break off from the rest of the X-Men, and there's going to be some that agree with him, there's going to be some that disagree with him, and there's also going to be a ton of fans that are going to agree with Magneto. Magneto's going to want to do something crazy, and there's going to be a lot of fans that would be like, pause, if that was me, I would be doing the same thing. And I'm telling you right now, there's also going to be a ton of other fans that are like offended that that Magneto is resonating with fans, and they're going to be like, how could you think? I mean, I have seen people furious that that people liked Paul Atreides in Dune 2. Like, I have seen people so offended that people could ever like that character. And, it's going to happen with me, Magneto. And especially the way everyone, yeah, like, but especially these days, everyone, so many people wake up in the morning, they grab a stick, they bend over, they put it up their butt, and they go on Twitter and they look to be offended. So, they're going to be offended when Magneto resonates with them. And I'm telling you right now, Magneto's probably going to resonate with me. So, grab that stick.
Did you see that's funny. Grab the stick. Well, bro, did you see the graphic that was going around though? So Marvel posted a graphic that said Magneto was right. It's on their Instagram.
No.
Hold on. I'm going to DM you it. Marvel Studios. Let me see. Yeah, it said Magneto was right. Where's it at? Magneto was right. Was it on Twitter? Hold on. Wait, let me pull it up.
Send it to my Comics Guts.
Yeah, I'm about to. Magneto was right. And look, but bro, even as I'm typing, Magneto was right. All I see is tweets about how people said like he's been right all along. He's been right all along.
I told you.
And this is where
the thing about Magneto. He's always right.
And this is where bro, like you look at Professor X like, what the hell is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Sometimes Professor X is just like, he's too patient.
Now, let's talk about Cyclops for a moment. Because Cyclops was... I haven't sent it yet. I gotta find it, dude. I swear I saw it.
Okay.
Maybe it was a fan art. Maybe it wasn't Marvel, but I saw the graphic. It said Magneto. Let me see if I saved it. But anyways, now let's talk about Cyclops, because we saw that towards the end of the episode, Cyclops got pretty snarky with the news lady, right? And basically what Cyclops said was, we have gone all this way for you guys, and you repay us by trying to still kill us and trying to still make us go extinct. Now, I know you know that comic run when Cyclops turns on Captain America and then he goes left for like a smooth couple of issues. Do you remember that? Yeah. And he kind of turns on everyone. And then we saw in the freaking mid-season trailer that Captain America is going to be popping up. So could it be possible for us to get, now this might be a reach, but if they said they're going all out, I'm going to put this out there now. If they pull off an Avengers versus X-Men in this show, fans will go crazy. Now, I don't know how far they would go, but with Captain America showing up, do you think that, and certain things happening, do you think that Cyclops might turn for a little bit because of what just happened on Genosha, because we go to that scene where he's on the TV, and mind you, he cursed, bro. Like he cursed, on the animated show. It was crazy.
So a spoiler. If you haven't read Avengers vs. X-Men by now, and you're worried about being spoiled on a YouTube show, like, I'm sorry, but anyway, in Avengers vs. X-Men, he is summoned by the Dark Phoenix, so he does go a little crazy. I don't know. I just think I don't think it's a smart move to do it on the show. I think that they're doing fine, and that if they do it on the show, then people aren't going to speculate that they might do it in the MCU. I don't necessarily think it's the right move to do in the MCU, but if they do it in the show, people aren't going to be talking about it for the MCU. And I kind of think that they like that speculation. And Hungry Almighty, do you want to get to this question now, or should we hold up? Because we're still
let's still get through the show, and then let's just finish up this because I do have a couple more questions. Because do you still think that Cyclops might flip out and lose his ish next episode? Like, do you still see that happening? Like, even if he might not turn all the way?
100%. And listen, Cyclops doesn't need the Dark Phoenix to go crazy. And
hold on, wait. Can I? So sorry. Can I just ask a part 2 just after you answer this? Because I haven't read enough Cyclops comic books. So the part 2 to that is, does Cyclops flipping out, does that match with his character? And then I'll let you go.
So are you talking about, does he flip out in Avengers versus X-Men?
No, so I'm saying, like, if Cyclops goes on the deep end maybe for an episode or 2, right? And Cyclops flips out about this whole Genosha situation, is that in character for him to do that? Like, would you be okay with that, because you've read Cyclops more than I have? How would you, would that fit his character?
He is usually someone who is disciplined and in control. So however, considering the circumstances in this show, I could see it coming, but it is a little out of character. Like, Captain America is like disciplined and all of that too, and he doesn't really. You wouldn't see Captain America be able to flip out. But here's the thing: I feel like in his own way, he kind of did flip out in that interview. Like, if you think about like someone who you generally think is a level-headed person or politician or whatever, which some people would be like, oh, no politician, whatever, but if you think about someone like that and you think about them conducting themselves in an interview the way Cyclops did, like, that's flipping out. I understand that we see much worse in comic book movie entertainment, but he number one, he lied. Number two, he's dealing with this clone situation where he's kind of confused on how to handle it. And the more confused he gets, the more Jean Grey retaliates on him, where it kind of seems like there's no win there, and it's just going to spiral more and more out of control. So that's why I kind of think that more is coming with Cyclops bugging out. I don't think that he's gonna, flip out and go like Super Saiyan or something that. But I do think that there's gonna be more chaos with this arc.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, and that's a perfect way to say it. I think there's gonna be some chaos there, because to me, bro, it seems like, as you said, with the whole baby situation, that was like, this is the icing on the cake where he's just gonna blow up, and lose his ish. Now, the other thing is Cable. Because I know you was hyped when you saw Cable run up in there.
Yeah. So
how'd you feel about that?
I thought it was dope. Listen, I feel like Cable always deserves more love. Like, you don't necessarily, he's not, like the top 3, like X-Men, or 4, but to me, he's up there. I mean, his story is just so cool. He's just a badass looking guy. Sorry, I gotta stop cursing on the show because we want kids to be able to see this. But
yeah, right.
Yeah. So no, I love Cable. I just hope we see more of him because and maybe there's more room for Cable now that Gambit's off because they gave a lot of spotlight to Gambit and with who knows, maybe there's something in the future that he like comes and brings them to help. But yeah, I like Cable. I hope we see more of him.
So what else was weird though was that didn't it seem like Cable would try to stop that before? Like it didn't seem like it was his first time trying to go back in time.
Yeah, but there's just, I mean, the Sentinels are like such a big piece of X-Men lore that there could have been other bigger battles with Sentinels that he's more focused on, and maybe more of them than Gambit died in a different situation. Like you don't know, and Sentinels. Like, it's funny too because when I think of X-Men, the animated show from growing up, like I think of the Sentinels first.
Yeah. And by the way, seeing Nightcrawler was just like, bro, like when the freaking Sentinel shot at Magneto and the Nightcrawler came and grabbed him and then he got burned, bro, that was hard, bro.
You know what I loved, and so I'm obviously Stevie knows this, but I'm big on my audio video technology and Dolby Atmos, which is like 3D sound. It's really cool, whatever. But I was so impressed with the sound effects for Nightcrawler, and I couldn't believe how much quality they put.
How they do it?
Because when he goes, like you feel the, like your whole room feels like it's crazy, and it's not cheap to mix the sound track in a way that creates that effect. So that Marvel really believes in this show, because if they invested to get the Dolby Atmos track to have that level of quality on an animated series, you just know that they really believe in the product.
Yep. Bro, I really don't like the fact that they kept him off of the X-Men team. Because they did that in Wolverine and the X-Men, and now they're doing that now. My guess, though, is that after this situation, he's probably going to be back on the team, which I'm really hyped for. I love Nightcrawler, bro. I love Nightcrawler. Yeah.
We need more Wolverine, though. That's the one thing. Like, I feel like
he's definitely taking a back seat.
I kind of think it's a strategic thing. I think that they know they don't need to sell Wolverine to everyone. Everyone already loves Wolverine, and they want to get people. They want fans to be more familiarized with other characters. So I don't know. That's my take on it. Maybe there's another reason, but
I like it.
I think I'm right. Yeah,
I like it, bro. I mean, I like it because but like they've done so many shows where Wolverine's like they did a whole show called Wolverine and the X-Men, and like and the reality is like, bro, most of these comics are like about Cyclops, bro. You know what I mean? Like Cyclops is a really big part of the X-Men. So I love that they're selling him as like that leader guy. Even though a lot of people might not believe in him at times, they will still follow Cyclops, and like that, and like because when I look at Captain America, right? Captain America is a man led with conviction, and when it comes to Cap, like Cap is never really phased. You know what I mean? Even when he's fighting Thanos in Endgame and he's facing an army, bro's not phased. But Cyclops is so young and human that like he tries so hard to be the leader, and it's to me like it makes Cyclops the more relatable character. I really think that if they do live action Cyclops like this, bro, I think he's gonna be a very loved character because he's so vulnerable. If that makes sense, and it kind of makes me feel connected to him a little more than like a Wolverine in this show.
So I don't think you're supposed to relate to Captain America. In one way, yes, and I'm going to tell you, Captain America is someone that is supposed to be like the most ideal role model.
So like a Superman type.
Yeah, but yes, yeah. But here's the thing with Captain America, like, and this is one of the things I thought they absolutely nailed it in. Like, they've done such a good job in the MCU with showing like how great Steve Rogers is, and we're going to talk a little more about Captain America tonight. And if you're watching this video as its individual clip and you're interested in the Captain America Brave New World movie, definitely take a look out on our page for that video also, because you're going to want to hear what I have to say on that. But back to Steve Rogers. So, you know, in Captain America First Avenger, like, you have to remember that the scientist picked Captain America, Steve Rogers, as a young guy that had none of the physical qualities in a soldier, but he had all the heart and integrity. And that's the thing, is Captain America, Steve Rogers, always does what's right. And he shows you that you have to do what's right even when other things are on the line. And like in the comics, he literally died in Civil War. Like, he died for what he believed in. And, you know, I think that he's a little different from Cyclops in that way. And I'm not saying that Cyclops doesn't have heart and integrity, but Captain America was something that you look up to and you aspire to. And when you're making the right choice and doing something right in your life, you could think about Captain America in that way, but it's not really relating to him. It's more aspiring to be like him. And, you know, Cyclops and Captain America are similar in the sense that they are like bona fide leaders.
Yeah.
But Cyclops is a little more
edgy,
human, even though
yeah. And this is why, bro. And this is why I think that Cyclops, I would never say he's going to be more popular than Captain America, but I do think that he's going to be more of an intriguing character, because with Captain America, what you see is what you're going to get. You know, like, Cap's not going to budge, like it, but with Cyclops, you never know, man. Like that man can wake up on the wrong side of the bed and give you hell. So I am really excited to see what they're going to do with that live action. And now that I think about it, Jerry, they are really going to have to cast a really good actor to play. Like, I mean, like, you're going to have to give us someone that is able to play that emotional side of the character, but also someone that can play that, you know, like that leader side. Like, we're going to need like a Jonathan Majors type of actor. And when I say Jonathan Majors, that chameleon type of guy where he can play both roles separately, but both of those parts together.
Because some scenes you're going to need to be a badass leader, and some of them you're going to have to be a little more emotional and vulnerable. Here's the thing that I think we as a fandom need to be talking about more, okay? We need better actors. Like, we are starting to go down a trend of getting bad actors in comic book movies, and it's not cool. I mean, you know, I could go off a list. Some people might be upset with some of the names I mentioned. Brie Larson, Xochitl Gomez, Zachary Levi. Who's the other one I was just thinking of? Oh, someone in the Snyderverse. Whatever, you know. But when you think of like successful comic book movie franchises, obviously the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is Phase 1 MCU. And the MCU was built on the backs of raw talent, okay? And, you know, yeah, some of them might have been in different parts of their careers, and it might have been, you know, strategic for Marvel to pick them up before Chris Evans was a huge household name, when Robert Downey Jr. was just on the way up, and, you know, Tom Hiddleston wasn't really well known yet. But don't tell me that there isn't a lot of talent out there that, and I always say it when we talk about castings. I'm like, I'm cool with them picking someone that they believe in who I've never heard of. I say it all the time. But we need someone like Chris Evans, RDJ, or Jonathan Majors level talent to be cast as Cyclops.
And this is why David Cornsweet, Rachel Brosnan, and Nicholas Hoult get us very excited. That's why we're very excited, man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about Superman later on the show. All right, Hungry Almighty. We're gonna hit some of these chats, and then I want to talk about one more thing in the episode. Then we'll move on to Captain America. Okay, how likely do you think the rumor of us getting the MCU X-Men movie in Phase 6 before Secret Wars are true? Okay, this is how I feel. I do not know. like we can talk about what we want, but if we're talking about what the leaks are saying, it's I don't know. And going to be honest, bro, it's probably not going to happen. And we're going to talk about that later on in the show because we have a whole topic about Marvel cutting projects and employees because Deadline did a whole article on it, and we're going to talk about that. But they're most likely not going to bring in the new X-Men because they're really like Marvel Studios right now.
So
hold on, bro. One second. A lot of people got to understand Marvel Studios had a lot of projects in the loop, okay? And Feige is going back and they're doing reshoots and they're trying to fix these projects. I really don't think Feige, and from what I heard, a lot of Feige's efforts is going into the Fantastic Four. Okay, that's forget the X-Men for right now. The Fantastic Four is the most important IP that you have right now. And I think that's where a lot of the focus is going. That, and not to mention, we have Captain America, Brave New World. We have Deadpool. I mean, Marvel has their hands full for right now. So I really don't think we're going to get a new X-Men in Secret Wars or before Secret Wars. As much as I think it will be a good decision, I think that right now we have our projects cut off for us. And to be honest, I think the lineup that we have movie-wise with Thunderbolts and Brave New World and Deadpool and Wolverine, I think we're good, man. I like in Doctor Strange 3, Shang-Chi 2, Spider-Man 4. I mean, there's some banger movies that are going to be coming out in the next 5 years. And to be honest, I think those movies can hold us out through Secret Wars to get an X-Men after that. Because having an X-Men and the Fantastic Four after the reboot is going to hold us up, after we get through this next phase.
Yeah, and to add to what Stevie said, we have a lot coming, and it's easy to forget about it when we also got movies like Doctor Strange 3 and the Marvels and Thor Love and Thunder, and it hasn't been as great as pre-Endgame, but we have a lot coming. We have the Fantastic Four, we have 2 Avengers movies, we have more Spider-Man, we have Captain America Brave New World, and you have to keep and Thunderbolts. You have to keep in mind that most of these scripts are probably written at this point. They know what they're going to do. They're working on Avengers 5 and 6. For them to add the X-Men right now would be such a major audible. That would mean rewriting all of those movies that I don't think it's a viable option. Like, even if they really wanted to do it, I don't think they could pull it off.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's the right move anyway. I don't think it's the right move. I think, and I've said it before. Listen, the X-Men, once they come, it's going to be the MCU is going to be the X-Men show. And just be a little patient because they're coming. And when they come, they're going to take over everything.
Yeah. All right. I love you, bro. You're my guy. All right. Do you think we're getting an Avengers animated series? Captain America is in the next episode of X-Men. We know Hulk is just in that uni with his own series with Iron Man. Okay, so I don't think that we're going to get an Avengers animated series only because they did everything possible with the Avengers Assemble animated series. Like, we got the Beyonder. I mean, we got Kang the Conqueror. We got Doom. We got Ultron. I mean, the Avengers Assemble show did everything that they possibly could. And to be honest, I don't think that they're going to go that route. I think they're going to do other shows because no, I don't see it.
I think also it's a strategic thing. Like, I think that they are being smart, like really smart about this new animated universe that I believe is coming. Check out our video on that. I thought I killed that one.
You did, brother.
Listen. they don't need to sell the Avengers to fans. Everyone loves the Avengers right now. The X-Men haven't been in the spotlight for a little. You know, I think a Captain America show would be cool. A Spider-Man show would be cool. Not that they need to sell those to fans, but that's why I also think like a Fantastic Four show would be smart strategically, because they want to make the Fantastic Four huge. The way to do it is you have an animated show, you have the movie coming out, just more of it, like character management. Like I always talk about how they do with Spider-Man. But I think it would be cool to see a Captain America solo show, because there's a lot of cool stuff that we didn't see with Captain America in the MCU that they could do in the animated show. But for the Avengers, like they don't need to.
Yeah. We are most likely going to get a spectacular Spider-Man. That's probably where we're going to get next, just being honest. That's probably because a lot of fans will want that. No, like the spectacular Spider-Man animated show. They're probably. I don't think they're going to bring back the animated Spider-Man show. I think they're going to do a spectacular Spider-Man. That's my theory.
I really hope they do the animated show. I grew up on that. I know everyone loves the spectacular. I never watched it. I'm a bit older than the target audience for when it came out, and I always thought like it's a children's thing. So
but that will also be a long time, because we're getting that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show with Tom Holland's character. So,
that is true.
So I mean, Spider-Man is nowhere. He's probably not even on the table, to be honest. All right.
Yeah.
Cap is naturally the better leader than Cyclops, simply due to the aspect of experience being a soldier at war, while Cyclops is more of a leader with more doubt than Cap. Yes.
Fair point.
Yes. I will argue, though, that Steve Rogers has probably the same amount of emotion that Cyclops.
Do you know this guy?
Though. Yeah. Oh, Josh, what's up, bro? Yeah. So, Josh is my guy, man. Me and his me and his brother Jonathan. Jonathan actually works for Fox News. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. He does. So he went to film school and he does all the film for Fox News. Yep, he's awesome.
That's awesome.
He'd be out in Philly. All right, I would say Glenn Powell as Cyclops, but I have this strange feeling that he's gonna play Hal Jordan. Glenn Powell would be a good Cyclops.
Yeah, but he would be such a better Hal Jordan, and you know how much I love Green Lantern. I would much rather see Glenn Powell as
exactly. Yeah. You want to know something funny? Now that I'm thinking about it, Ryan Coogler is not slick, bro. He's not slick. Doesn't it, looking back at Black Panther, doesn't it seem like Killmonger was a lot like Magneto?
You know what's interesting is like,
and maybe that's why I liked him so much.
Yeah. Listen, when it's funny you say that, because when that movie came out, a lot of people were like, Killmonger was right. And, like Killmonger did want to kill everyone in America, but people identified with that. Magneto resonates more with me. Maybe that's because it's like, I'm Jewish, you're black. Yeah. So, maybe it makes sense. But it's definitely a good point. And on that note, it's like, they should be doing more stuff with Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan. And by the way, if that was Ryan Coogler's intention, hate to break it to you, it definitely was slick, because that movie came out in like 2018, I think. And we're in 2024, 6 years later, and we didn't realize it till this very second.
Yeah. Bro. I'm just thinking about like, bro, think about it. Strong convictions will do anything to make sure that their race survives, bro. Like, it's not like that, that conviction that they have. Now, I will say Killmonger is probably a little more violent, like Magneto, Magneto.
I don't know. They're like, listen, I am going to look out for my own. And
they're savages.
They're both that savage.
Yeah. Level. Difference is though, is that if Professor X needs him, Magneto, he's there no matter what, you know. Versus if T'Challa needed Killmonger, I don't think Killmonger's showing up.
Yeah.
Killmonger's kind of a savage. He is like, bro, Michael B. Jordan, bro. I think that was his best role of all time. I'm not gonna lie, he was savage in that movie.
Yeah. You know what else he was really good in, and people don't talk about enough, was Without Remorse. It was
Amazon. Yeah, that joint was hard.
Yeah, so sick,
dude. We gotta talk about that on Action Cuts. Actually, yo, I'm gonna write that down.
Yes. You know what? I am going to start putting together a list of a lot of stuff we need to cover for Action Cuts. And we'll get into that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, guys, we are going to really, honestly, I really want to invite some of our friends on the Action Cut to do like maybe like a 2-3 hour live stream on like a Saturday where we just talk about
hell yeah.
Where like we might even go 5 hours. Like just spend the whole Saturday where we just react. We react to scenes from movies. We talk about action. Give like a smooth 3 hours of content. So yeah, we're definitely gonna do that soon. All right. I don't think Spectacular Spider-Man is coming simply to do the rights. Disney owns all the animated Spider-Man rights. So, or any Spider-Man's with Peter Parker they own. So. Wait, did my AirPods just die?
No, I was on mute.
Oh. Anyways, okay, now. All right. Now, the last thing I want to talk about with X-Men 97 is that we saw the Watcher. Okay, we saw the Watcher pop up, and I'm gonna just lay on this quick because we've been talking about X-Men for almost an hour, so I'm gonna just lay this quick on you guys. X-Men is connected to everything animated, okay, and that's where I'm just going to leave it at. And I don't know where that's going to go, but the reason why I think he's doing that is because apparently one of the What If episodes is What If Storm holds Mjolnir, so that might be connected. And I want to talk about Storm, but I heard that she's really focused on in the next episode, so we're going to save the Storm talk for next week because Storm is like.
That's a rumor for season 3. They didn't do Storm episode yet.
No. I'm saying the rumor is that the episode coming out tomorrow is about Storm.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think. Listen, if they're gonna do a What If episode on X-Men right now, I kind of think it's done. I think they need. I think the What If works because we know those characters in the MCU, and if you don't, it's kind of weird.
I don't agree, but it's all good. All right. Comic Cuts. I know you have a lot to say here.
Yeah. I have been a big fan of Sam Wilson since he came on the scene in Winter Soldier. I also am a big fan of the character in the comics. Now, from day one of talking about this movie, Stevie and I have been saying it's going to be a banger. Then they were going back and forth, and it's like, okay, now we're worried. Now people that have seen footage of the movie are like, this movie's going to be a banger, and we're glad to hear that. But there is also a lot of talk online of, maybe Bucky should have been the better Captain America. The thing about Captain America, and in the comics, all 3 of them have been Captain America. So there is that angle. However, the thing about Captain America, especially in the MCU, is that Captain America is someone that's always done the right thing. And Bucky, whether he did it with his own free will or not, is irrelevant. You can't have someone who did the things that Bucky did rep the shield and the red, white, and blue like that. Just can't. And the other thing is, Sam Wilson, I think that up until maybe recently, I think everyone really loved. Like, Sam Wilson is the guy. He's one of the key drivers of Winter Soldier, Civil War. All the movies he's been in, he helps drive the emotional depth of the story. But when you think about Captain America, Winter Soldier, and you think about the first time you saw that movie, I think that you have to give a lot of credit to Anthony Mackie for that in that movie, you know, and he helps drive the emotional depth with Steve Rogers. The other thing is he blends really well in action scenes because he could fly, you know, and he looks really cool doing it. But, you know, when people are like, oh, you know, he's not Captain America, obviously he is, you know, like he literally is Captain America. He's getting his own movie. And, you know, he, like Steve Rogers, is a leader. He believes in doing the right thing and putting everything on the line to do it. And he did it in the first movie we saw him in. He did it in Winter Soldier when Steve and Nat were on the run after the military base in New Jersey blew up and everyone was after them. He took them in, you know, and I think that we're going to see the progression of that character take off in Captain America, Brave New World. And I really do think, like, when I look at the who could potentially be on the Avengers roster for the next 2 Avengers movies, I've always thought like Sam Wilson is that guy. And now in the footage that apparently people saw at CinemaCon, you know, Ross says to Sam Wilson, I want you to help me rebuild the Avengers. So that means that Sam Wilson's Captain America is going to be the captain and leader of the new Avengers roster. You know, and I think it's going to be an awesome movie. I think Sam Wilson is going to become a fan favorite, just like Spider-Man, just like Reed Richards will be. You know, Pedro Pascal's another story, but whatever. I still think they're gonna. I still think they're gonna land it. I think it would have been better if it was Krasinski. Sue me. You know, but the other thing here is they did make one horrible move with Sam Wilson, and Steve and I were talking about this. Obviously, I'm talking about the monologue, and I love how I could just say the monologue, and everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't think that, number one, that wasn't Anthony Mackie's choice. I don't think Anthony Mackie wanted to do that, and I don't think that they're going to make that same mistake again. I know some people are like, oh, it's Disney. I wouldn't put it past them. I think Marvel is in a position where they're like, we can't afford to, you know, take these agenda-driven risks anymore because they don't pan out. And like, they already have everything to gain with this. They already have, you know, a new Black Captain America. They have, you know, a star who is an MCU veteran. Like, this movie needs to be a banger because it needs to establish Sam Wilson as A, Captain America, B, leader of the Avengers. And if the rest of moving forward after this movie, the rest of the MCU is going to be led by this new Avengers squad, this thing has to work. And I think it is going to work. I think it's going to be an awesome movie. The fact that Ross is talking to Sam Wilson about rebuilding the Avengers is awesome. And I think that if you go back and you rewatch all of the movies that Sam Wilson is in, I think you'll see that you really like the character too. I always did. I can't stand agenda-driven stuff. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know, listen, it drives me a lot more nuts than it does Stevie. And, you know, I never saw Sam Wilson in that way, other than the monologue, which I really, you know, I don't hold it against him because I don't think it was his decision. And he's been an awesome character aside from that. So listen, Captain America Brave New World is at the top of the list for Marvel movies that I'm hyped about. I think it's going to be a banger. I think they're going to successfully establish Sam as the leader of the Avengers and as Captain America. And I think it's going to be awesome. And, you know, listen, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier, by the way, I think that that show, like, it's funny because if you look at it, the two things that ruined that show to me were Carly. I mean, she shouldn't have been in the show at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and the monologue. But like, if they removed those two things, that show would have been a banger. Because Anthony Mackie, you want to talk about like top talent in comic book movies? Anthony Mackie is there. I watched another movie with my parents. It's called. I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on, because I want to give you guys the movie name. It was called The Banker, and it was so good. And yeah, it was about Anthony Mackie played a banker named Bernard Garrett, and it was basically during the times where it was America's rotten past, and he had a lot of issues with his business because people were racist and they didn't want to work with him. But he, through grit and all that, he made it happen, and it was a really good movie. But like, it was, that's the kind of movie that I think, like, if you are top talent and you are in a comic book movie, like, that's great. But I feel like this is the way the Hollywood industry looks at it. If you want to be like top level talent to the rest of the business, you have to be able to put a performance on like this in a drama movie. And it's no different than how Robert Downey Jr., he's a legend to all of us. But until he did what he did in Oppenheimer, that's what he got the Oscar for. And I don't know. I just think that like the fact that Anthony Mackie could put on this kind of performance in this kind of movie means that he's that worthy in the MCU to be that top guy. Because let me tell you, like, they are going to make him that star leader. And, the other thing too, like, Steve Rogers gave Sam the shield. So it really was it really was Steve Rogers, the one that we all know and love. It was Steve's choice to make Sam Wilson Captain America. And I think he made the right choice.
Yeah, so I was against Sam being Captain. You know that because you and I used to always argue about it. I am warming up, man. I think Sam is meant to be the guy for this season of for this era that we're in for the MCU. Number one, because I wanted Bucky, but when you think about the MCU, Sam was the one that was always the most consistent one. He always chose. He was always on Cap's side. He always chose the side of right. He never tried to compromise himself. And when he did compromise himself, it was to help others. Sam put Cap and Bucky and Tony above himself. And even with Rhodey, I mean, he's the reason he's the reason why Rhodey can't walk again, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened with Sam. So I think that and I can't wait till he gets to see Tic Tac again. Ant-Man, he goes Tic Tac, and I can't wait to be Ant-Man's like, what the hell? You're Captain America now? It's gonna be a funny interaction. By the way, did you hear what Anthony Mackie said about Tom Holland?
I think so, but remind me.
So basically at Comic-Con, remember when Marvel had those press runs and they would roast Tom Holland, him and Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Like they roasted Tom Holland the whole Civil War press run. It was hilarious. So he was at a Comic-Con with Tom Holland in like 2017, and he was basically saying that Falcon is more popular than Tom Holland. And Tom Holland's like, bro, you don't even have your own movie. And then everybody was like, oh. Basically, Anthony Mackie said, he said, you know what? He said, I'm gonna pay for Tom Holland to come to my premiere because I got my movie now. I was laughing. It was so funny. Bro, that's the camaraderie that we need back at the MCU. Where you're just having fun, man. And someone like Anthony Mackie, he's always joking around, he's always happy. He's a traditional man, I dude, I gotta freaking shoot you this link, bro. I mean, Anthony Mackie's he's from down south, bro. He don't care. I mean, he's just a regular dude.
Yeah.
And so like it's awesome to see somebody like that's being championed in the MCU. And I think and I agree with everything you said. He's the perfect guy to take it. But the reason why I think he's perfect to lead to lead the Avengers is because there's going to be a respect piece on his end because he's been there from the start. You know, he was in Age of Ultron. Wait, was he in Age of Ultron? He was in Age of Ultron. He was in the end. He came in the end. He wasn't there the whole time. But like he's been there. He's been around. And
he's a veteran. He's a veteran.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, man, I'm really excited to see people like Spider-Man them line up behind him and take on the role. And yeah, man, I mean this, and I know that this is going to be short-lived. You know, we don't expect him to be the Captain America when the reboot starts. Like we know that this kind of through Secret Wars thing. But you know,
don't know about that. Like, and that's the other thing. First of all, this reboot, like, I don't think it's going to be such a hard reboot. I think that they're going to, and the reason I don't is because there are still so many characters to use to, you know, why would they reboot it if they have a brand new Fantastic Four? They're going to have a brand new mutants and X-Men. They still have a lot of life left of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They haven't used Miles Morales yet. We still haven't seen Doctor Doom. You know, there are all these like major characters that they haven't even like seen the light of day.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't think that. And the biggest thing is they didn't just hire that Fantastic Four cast to reboot.
Now, I do think that you're misreading it a little bit, bro, because when people say reboot, they're not saying you just chalk the whole thing. They just mean like and when I say reboot, I'm talking about the new world. Because I mean, we all know that the MCU that we know is probably going to be destroyed, and there's going to be a new world after Secret Wars where all the heroes are going to reside in. And that's where we expect to see, like, you know, the same Fantastic Four, the same Spider-Man, the same Falcon, but then there to maybe be there might be
America, a new
exactly. And so when when people say reboot, they're saying like a new world. Now, I think Downey and Chris Evans are coming back. That's my opinion, and so I kind of see it being that way.
You think certain individual characters will be rebooted so they can maybe.
Now, me personally, I will leave Iron Man out of it. Yeah, now me personally, this is me. I will leave Iron Man out of the Avengers. I think you can run a good Avengers lineup without Stark. That's my opinion. I would just take X-Men characters. I would just take X-Men characters and put them in the freaking lineup. You said why?
Yeah, why would you not? Why would you take Stark off the board?
There's no actor alive right now that can play the role of Tony Stark, and until that actor comes in this world, they should not put him on screen. I think there's people that can play Captain America though. You know, I mean, I think that if we really think about it, there could be someone that can take that spot. But when it comes to Iron Man, bro, like what Downey did with that character, bro, is just like, to me, it's like you have to find the right guy to do it. And the only man that could have maybe done it was Tom Cruise, and he's in his 60s, so that's not happening.
Yeah. You know, number one, they said the same thing about James Bond, and then they cast Roger Moore, who I think is the worst Bond, but at the time, he was very successful. You know, listen, I think talent's out there. I think there's someone that probably could do a bang-up job on Iron Man. Do I think they would top Robert Downey Jr.? Probably not. But I think that there's someone out there that can do a good job that we don't know. So you got to remember, too, there are so many people that are trying to be actors, and like that talent pool is huge.
I mean, you can even do a very
most of them obviously just don't have the talent level for it, which is why so few make it.
Yeah, and
I don't think that's how everyone else sees it, but that's how I see it. Like I think that most people that want to be actors and believe that they're super talented, I just don't think that they are. and I think it's a very small amount of people that could hold a role in those scenes and convince us that it's real.
That is a fair point. That's a fair point. Fair point. All right, let's see what Hungry says. Where we at? Okay. With Sam, it's a double-edged sword for me because I actually warmed up to Sam being Cap, but at the same time, I do want to see Steve Rogers interact with Wolvie, X-Men, F4, etc. in the soft reboot. I agree, and I promise you, Steve will be back, and Falcon will be back to Falcon. By the way, spoiler alert, rumor alert. I heard that Isaiah Bradley is going to be in this as well, going crazy. That's what I heard. I heard that Isaiah Bradley got the Winter Soldier treatment. If that's true,
wow.
If that's true, man,
I think you told me that. That sounds fire.
Boy, are we in for a treat. Yes, the monologue was absolutely unnecessary. It was so dumb with Disney. Yeah, bro, exactly, bro. Like one of the biggest problems I have is why use my race to make your story go forward? That's not fair to me. All right, Hungry Almighty. Same. I never saw Sam Wilson as an agenda-driven Cap. Exactly. In a soft reboot, if I'm Disney, I would have a Wolverine prequel movie with Steve Rogers as the second main character, but current day Cap is Sam Wilson. Interesting. I wouldn't want that in a reboot. Like, not to start off. Like, maybe down the road, but not like starting off like I don't know. I will probably start off with X-Men 1 personally to start off the new MCU, but yeah, I wouldn't want to start with that though. But a Wolverine and Cap prequel movie would be cool. You know what I mean? Winter Soldier is Nightwing and Falcon is Red Robin. Nightwing doesn't want to be Batman while Red Robin is Batman. Red Robin is willing to be Batman. The only thing is that, by the way, Dick Grayson is Batman, dude.
Sweetness. In that Grant Morrison.
Boy, so man. One of my favorite comic book runs of all time. My gosh.
That's a big statement. But a lot of people say that. A lot of people say that the Grant Morrison Batman is the best Batman. I disagree. I think the Scott Snyder one is way better. That's my favorite Batman by far.
That Court of Owls Batman was pretty fire too, though.
That's part of it. That's the Scott Snyder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will have to put them both at equal. But anyways, all right. I think you're misreading a little the reboot. Yeah, exactly. We just talked about that. But with Iron Man, they don't have to do a classic Iron Man like RDJ. They could do something like a superior Iron Man. I think there's an actor out there. I agree. Like a variant would be cool. All right. Now, let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine at CinemaCon. So there was a 9-minute showing of Deadpool and Wolverine. Apparently, Thor was in the freaking movie crying over a dead Deadpool body. Like, what? Like, what is going on? So, yeah, man, we are really excited for Deadpool, bro. And this movie's going to change the game, man. This movie's going to be really, really big. And the fact that Kevin Feige said the movie is effing awesome, like, what is, like, I was like, whoa, Kevin, So, I don't really want to get into any spoilers because it's coming out this year. But I'll just tell you this, man. We are in for a really big treat with the Deadpool Wolverine. And I'm happy that they're doing so much press and that they're out here and that Kevin Feige is advertising it. Kevin Feige looks genuinely excited with this Deadpool and Wolverine project.
Yeah. I think it's going to be awesome. And it's interesting because once this movie comes out and it's awesome, everyone's going to be talking about mutants, which is a good thing because by the time the mutants finally get here and we're seeing the mutants in the MCU, there's going to be so much hype around it. It's going to be crazy.
And the question is going to be, where will the mutants be after Deadpool? Like, we don't know where they're going to end up at.
Do you think they're all going to be in Deadpool?
Yeah. Bro, think about it, bro. Most of the movie's going to be in the void, rumored. And if we're in the void, then anyone's going to be there. So
yeah.
And that might be the preview of what Battle World. Battle World might be built off of the void, bro. Just saying. So who knows?
I I hope not.
Okay, now let's talk about this here. Okay, so there was an article that Deadline did today about Marvel Studios laying off some of their staff because of the decrease in projects. Now we all know that Bob Iger said that Disney is focusing on over quality, not quantity, and so it seems like some projects are still in the midst of being cut off, and obviously they laid off some of their staff. So, Jerry, how do you feel about Marvel taking this approach? Kind of like the less is more, let's focus on getting the quality right, which is really what the old Marvel approach was. And it seems like they are still going to do Disney Plus shows, but they're being really choosy with what they're doing. How do you feel about them making these fixes to try to avoid some of the mistakes that we've had in the past?
I'm a little mixed about it because I wish that the post Endgame higher turnout of more quantity of projects worked. I don't understand what went wrong. Just because they increased the quantity doesn't mean that the quality had to decrease. I think that they could have we could have had a world where we were getting more projects and the quality was consistent. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And, in the comics, like we have so many comics that are coming out at once, and they all, not all, but most of them take place in the same universe. And some of the stories end up colliding, some of them don't. And like, that's cool too. And I wanted to see an MCU where that's the case. There's a main storyline. Some of the stories collide. Some of them are isolated, and there might be a reference here or there or whatever. But given the result of their effort in increasing the quantity and the quality obviously going down, I understand it. I think that Disney Plus is a much larger piece to the equation that isn't mentioned enough in this conversation. You have to keep in mind that Disney invested a ton of money into this new platform, and when they launched it, they launched new Marvel shows, and that was going to be one of their big, profit drivers for the platform. And I don't think that it panned out. And I think a lot of these streaming companies are starting to, have to adapt to, circumstances they didn't foresee. And I think that there are other decisions that they're making that are impacting quality, and it's not just quantity. Like, I don't even think that's really the issue. I think that there's a number of other issues, and I think that they made so many bad decisions so quickly that now they have to scale back in quantity because they quite simply can't afford to make as much as they were making. But I think they're making much worse decisions. I think and a lot of those decisions revolve around things like putting America Chavez in ruining your Doctor Strange movie, or doing Thor: Love and Thunder and making one of your top heroes a total buffoon, or finally getting a new good female character. Like,
they made Eternity a freaking girl, bro. I'm sorry, that pissed me off. Eternity, you make her a child. Sorry, go ahead.
Miss Marvel, and she's great, but nobody watches it, and then you finally put her in a movie, so people are going to get exposed to this awesome new character, but you make that movie, a bomb with the Marvel. So, like, I don't think that this addresses any of the issues. I think it's just a cost recuperating thing, and it sucks because Marvel should have been successful with this.
Yeah, quantity was never the issue. The issue was writing and agenda pushing that no one wants in their projects. That was the main issue. And the thing is, bro, is that I think all the projects that they released could have worked. all those projects could have been successful. I think the Marvels, if written and done right, could have been a successful movie. And people hate to say it. I think Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers, and what is Miss Marvel's name? Kamala Khan. I think they could do it. I think if they're written correctly, it will be a great movie. I really don't think the choosing of projects is terrible. I think it's now Wonder Man and Agatha. Now we're talking about bad project decisions. Ironheart, those three need to be cut, and that's what I think is being cut. To be honest, and like, why can't we just put Ironheart in Armor Wars with War Machine? Like, I'm cool with that. Let's do that. Right. Let's do that. Keep Agatha with Wanda. Or put Agatha with the mutants. Save Agatha for when we get the X-Men and we get Scarlet Witch. Like, give us that. Save that. Put them. Put these characters in, and that is, I think, the main issue with Marvel is that they took characters that no one cared about and tried to make them important. And I know it worked with Iron Man. I understand it worked with Captain America and Thor, but Agatha Harkness is not Captain America or Iron Man or Thor. Wonder Man is not Captain America, Iron Man, or Thor. Ironheart is not Captain America, Wonder Man, or Thor. The only two characters that people resonated with was Yelena Belova and Kate Bishop. Those are the only two new characters that people love. So, so yeah, man, I'm really happy that, I understand that they had to slow down to, I think, to halt some projects. So yeah, man, I hope that this decision works. And, the Captain America Brave New World news is good news. So yeah, man, I'm pretty happy about that. All right. The concept of Disney Plus is a great idea, but the execution was bad because they decided to give shows to characters no one cares about. Seriously, how do we get Echo before Ghost Rider? Exactly, bro. Exactly. Even Echo. I totally forgot about Echo. Exactly. I think the fans are just tired of the.
Echo actually ended up being good, but you still would have preferred.
Exactly. Why didn't we put Echo's story in Daredevil? He's having a 23 episode season, Okay, so bro, can you tell this? I really have to pee. But perfect. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So Pruitt Taylor Vince was cast as Pa Kent, and for those of you that don't know, he is a voice actor that has been very popular. He was, in The Walking Dead, Constantine, The Identity, Mentalist, and a couple other things, and I think it's cool. I think that, it's great that Pa Kent's going to be in it. Obviously, he's not going to really be in it if it's just a voice actor. So, I'm assuming that means Pa Kent will, kind of be talking in Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El's head. Yeah. And listen, it's exciting. Obviously, this movie is, I'm pretty sure it's in production, or production's just started. I'm super stoked about it. And, I am looking forward to finding out more DCU castings, but of course, people online were comparing him to Kevin Costner immediately because how a certain Snyder cult likes to get about their comparisons. They compare absolutely everything. But listen, the guy's a voice actor, and he's got a pretty stacked resume. So I don't see, where it could go wrong. But what it also does indicate is that, there really won't be that much of an origin story told. Maybe not even in flashbacks, because if it's just a voice actor, that means that at no point in the movie will we see a physical Pa Kent on the screen, whether in a flashback or in real time and any other form.
Now, Comic Cuts, that I don't really deal with the Snyder Code anymore because, I've kind of stopped caring. But now I have to go off, okay? Give me about 2 minutes, bro. I feel like Stephen A. Smith. Number one. Jonathan Kent was a Man of Steel, not even for 10 minutes. Number one. He barely had 10 minutes in the movie. Number two. The greatest Jonathan Kent is the Smallville Jonathan Kent. Number two. That's the greatest Jonathan Kent that we've ever seen. That's the most we've seen Jonathan Kent. And I will argue that even the Jonathan Kent from the Christopher Reeve Superman is probably equally as better, equally as good. So to sit here and take a picture from Jonathan, who y'all probably didn't even know what Jonathan Kent when y'all saw Man of Steel, because Man of Steel was the first Superman movie you've ever seen, is crazy. And it is wild. This dude is voicing the character, bro. They're voicing the character.
Yeah, I know.
Like, this is ridiculous.
It's not even a fair comparison.
This is ridiculous, brother. Ridiculous. So, man, I'm going on Twitter. I'm like, dang, like, is he like the next? Is he Jarrell? Like, is that why people are saying no? It's just because people are just tripping, bro. So yeah, man, I think it's a great casting. I mean, you know, who cares, dude? I like it. It's Jonathan Kent, bro, and he's a voice talking in his head. By the way, did you see that a picture of Corn Sweat doing that commercial, and they thought it was Henry Cavill?
No.
And he had on this black like tank top, and they thought it was Henry Cavill.
I'm trying to find it.
Just go on Twitter and type in David Corn Sweat.
Okay.
So pretty exciting. Okay, so while he's doing that, we're gonna talk about another thing right here. So, all right, My Time to Shine Hello posted a tweet saying basically that Sydney Sweeney's casted, but didn't say the role. And then a bunch of Marvel Studios update pages started talking about Sydney Sweeney is rumored to be Black Cat. Okay, now if Sydney Sweeney is the Black Cat, this is gonna be a game changer.
Yeah. The other thing too, by the way, listen, she would crush it, obviously, but if Sydney Sweeney is Black Cat, do you understand how many more tickets they will sell just because of that? Like, girls love her, guys love her. I mean, she has, she's like one of those celebrities that, a bunch of people make like fan accounts for, and there's probably a zillion Sydney Sweeney fan pages or whatever they're called. I think that it's a power move, and it's already Spider-Man, and they absolutely crushed it with the last one, No Way Home. So if they land her as Black Cat, this movie is going to break $1 billion.
Black Cat. If Sydney Sweeney is Black Cat, bro, she's going to be what Margot Robbie was to Harley Quinn.
Right.
And you're going to be more mad because you're going to see a bunch of Black Cat cosplays.
Oh God! You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing those cosplays actually, but I can't, how I feel about cosplay. But that's more bearable, especially if it's like the Black Cat outfit. I mean, that's not a dude dressed up as Batman, taking pictures on the sidewalk. Oh man!
Yo, you're Hully. You crack me up. Dude. You crack me up. But yeah, man. I mean, I think that this would be super awesome. I think this would be a dope romance for Peter Parker, because I was thinking, man, like, I know some people want Stacey, but we got a whole 2 movies where, like, I think having Black Cat as his love interest for the next movie would be super cool. So, let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Yeah. Go all the way. And this is just another showing that that Feige got the juice, bro. He is like Kevin Feige is Suge Knight. He is Suge Knight. Okay. Now, this is just for a fun topic, right? Who had the best sequel movie in the MCU? And why?
I would take Captain America, because that movie was so elevated. It became like espionage. The action was better. The theme of the movie and the plot, absolutely everything. And the twists. Like, that movie, there's a reason most people say it's the best MCU movie, period. I wouldn't say that, but it's definitely up there. And, I think that Winter Soldier is by far the best sequel.
What do you think is the best MCU film of all time?
It's really tough, but it's probably between, I should say Infinity War. I think Infinity War is a prime example of the well-oiled machine of Marvel firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. If we got to recast it, T'Challa, Black Panther would have been the #1 sequel of all time.
Yeah. You know what? That's what's so cool. That movie was so
that
cool.
bro, it hurts. It hurts, dude. It hurts.
Yeah,
It hurts, man.
I know.
Like to this day, bro.
Idiots,
Every time I see the Wakanda Forever, it just like it genuinely hurts my soul, bro. Because we really missed out on the greatest sequel of all time. We did, bro. It was in the palm of our hands, bro. Oh my gosh, man. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean,
next time.
What are we saying?
Next time, any of you who, if you're arguing with someone on X, keep in mind they probably tweeted not to recast T'Challa.
Yup, exactly. Now, I think Winter Soldier is the best sequel. My favorite sequel is either Age of Ultron or Iron Man 2. I love Iron Man 2.
Me too. Iron Man 2 is great. Yeah. I was going to say, I was almost going to say Iron Man is, Iron Man or Infinity War is the best MCU movie, but I couldn't say Iron Man's better than Infinity War. I like Iron Man 1. That's the movie that got me into Marvel. Like, I still remember leaving the movie theater and just being like, I can't get over how good that movie was. And every time I watch it, it just brings me back to that. But, I think you'd be hard-pressed to argue that Infinity War isn't the best example of everything at Marvel working at once.
Yeah, I agree. So, what is your favorite MCU film of all time?
That's a really tough question. I would probably still say Infinity War.
Why is your favorite?
Because I just love that. I love the story around the Stones, and the Avengers losing was a big shock. But I really liked the back and forth also between Thanos on his ship and in space, and Thor. What else did I like about that movie? And I liked watching alongside as Iron Man, Spidey, and Doctor Strange were on the ship, but the other Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy were going to nowhere, and then there were the other Avengers that were. I can't even remember the names of the characters off the top of my head right now.
But
I like watching.
So you're talking about back when they were in Wakanda with Falcon, Black Panther.
Yes. I like how they were all separated and doing different things at the same time in working towards the same goal. Oh, who I couldn't mention before, Thor and Rocket. I love that Thor and Rocket went to the
Vilmir.
The guy that made weapons. Yeah, Vilmir. That was so cool to me, and it just felt like an epic space adventure. And I also love the visuals, because when Marvel goes to space, and you see that sky, it just looks so cool. I also, it's funny because when I saw Infinity War, I loved it so much, and it was so good. And then when I saw Endgame, I was like, you know what? I think Endgame is better than Infinity War. But after rewatching them again, I think Infinity War is better than Endgame.
Yeah, Infinity War is the most perfect paced movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
I've never seen a movie that well paced.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything got more and more intense. It was so well paced. It's a great point.
It's like it's like a comic book, It's insane. Yeah. What were you saying?
I was going to say, and that scene, by the way, the fight on Titan, that was so sick. And then remember in Endgame, he's like, oh, you fought. He goes, we fought. What do you mean we fought? He wiped my face with a planet.
And mind you, bro, that Iron Man suit, dude. Oh my god.
So cool.
Imagine if he had that in Civil War. Him and Bucky would have got cooked.
Yeah, for real.
They would have got washed up, bro. They would have got washed up. That suit was literally, and that is the one thing about Tony Stark is that every mistake he makes in the past movies, his suit corrects that mistake, bro. Like it's the small details, bro, and like the nanotech creating anything with his mind. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. So cool.
Like a lot of people don't talk about his suit enough because that Joan was OP, bro. Like. Dude looked like an alien. Like it looked like an alien, literally, bro. Oh my god, that movie's so good. Oh my god,
so good. Dude, I used to live around the corner from, like, literally around the corner from where the fight was in the city. Like, remember when he said, "Beat it, Squidward." Yeah. That, bro. My apartment was like 5 blocks from there.
That's crazy. I know you walked on that street just to look like, yo, this is where they filmed it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I walked on that street all the time, but yeah, every time I see that movie, I think about it.
That's fire. Okay, now Screen Crush. Do you know who he is? Do you know who that is?
No, it sounds familiar.
So Screen Crush is a YouTube channel. Hold on one second. Is it true that Steve was Nomad? That's what people say. People say he was Nomad, but he didn't really say he was. A lot of people think that Chris Evans is going to come back as Nomad during Battle World. That's what a lot of rumors have been saying. But anyways, so Screen Crush did a whole video on the Eternals should have been a Disney Plus show, and he was saying that with a massive cast like the Eternals, you could have used the show to draw out and explain a lot more with the Celestials and with the Eternals, and you could have been able to travel more through space. Excuse me, and you would have been able to build more of a groundwork with the Celestials and the Eternals, and you could have even brought in people like Galactus and people like that. Do you think that fans would have accepted Eternals if it was more of a drawn out, written out show?
Possibly. I mean, it's a great point, and they could have added more drama and made it serious. I still don't know why people didn't like Eternals, but I do think if they added more of that aspect, like, it probably would have paid off better, and it would have been, better received.
The Eternals is fire, bro. I'll never understand the hate against, bro.
I like it, but they're in a tough spot because people don't, and I don't know if we're going to get an Eternals 2 while they're scaling back.
I think they're just going to take the most popular characters and just throw them in there. Like I can see like an Icarus getting taken, maybe Angelina Jolie's character. Like I feel like they're going to take a few. And that speedster chick, she better be in that lineup too. She was awesome.
I think her name
and Barry Keoghan. And Barry Keoghan's character. Druid. Oh my god, Druid.
He was my favorite. Bro, that kid, you want to talk about like top quality talent? That kid's got it.
And bro, look, Druid is the type of guy you could throw these characters on the Avengers lineup. Like you can do that, bro.
That's a great point.
Because bro, look, you could put Icarus with the Guardians, you could put, Druid with the Avengers for a little bit. Like they can go to multiple teams and just rock out,
Yeah, totally.
So, but yeah, guys, so we're gonna end it here. Obviously, X-Men 97 comes out tomorrow. I didn't talk to Comic Cuts about this, but if we are in the mood, we will talk about this off air. But depending on how crazy this episode is, there's a slight chance we might record Thursday, just in case if it's crazy. So we'll see. Either maybe Thursday or Saturday or something like that. But check out X-Men 97. Please watch our last videos. We've talked about Sam Wilson, all types of stuff. So check us out on there. And please subscribe to our other channels and pages. Have a wonderful day, guys. Have a wonderful night and stay crispy. Peace out.
Peace.